I'd like to address some of the concerns that people are having with saw palmetto. Now, this is a herb usually taken to help treat an enlarged prostate and also for men suffering with male pattern baldness. And it works basically by inhibiting 5-alpha reductase, which is an enzyme that converts the male hormone testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, which is a potent androgen hormone. Now, this hormone is very important for male development, and the thing is that when you get older, especially when you get into your 30s, 40s, or middle age, and then even older, DHT can contribute to some of the problems such as enlarged prostate, hair loss, sexual dysfunction, urinary frequency, which comes along with benign prostatic hyperplasia. So some of these are concerns, and normally, people will research saw palmetto and they'll find that it's useful in treating those conditions, and so they take it. Well, over the years, people have been having a lot of concerns, and people saying that by taking saw palmetto for their hair loss, that it's caused them a loss of libido and just completely destroyed their sexual drive. And I'd like to basically just set the record straight and say that saw palmetto has a track record of being very safe. There hasn't really been any studies, as far as I'm aware of, showing that it causes any of these negative side effects. If indeed it is causing you side effects, it's very small to people that are taking it. In other words, it's not nowhere near as negative as people that are taking drugs like finasteride, which is another name for Propecia. Unfortunately, drugs, specifically hair loss drugs, can and may give you permanent side effects such as loss of libido and other sexual dysfunction. Whether that happens or not to you, I have no idea. But this is what the evidence points to, that these drugs can come with some negative side effects. So, saw palmetto actually has been used by the Native Americans for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So it is a natural herb. It's a plant. And some of the things that saw palmetto does is that it does benefit your prostate, and it also helps to basically increase free testosterone levels. The reason that this happens is because saw palmetto inhibits the conversion of testosterone, which would normally convert into dihydrotestosterone. So the body actually retains higher levels of testosterone for use, and this is what we call free testosterone. Now, a greater presence of testosterone helps regulate body weight, maintain a more positive mood, and encourage better sexual function. And from all of the years that I've been taking saw palmetto, I can actually say that this has been the case. There has been a lot of websites out there to discredit the use of saw palmetto and push people towards taking drugs. A lot of people will jump on the bandwagon and discredit a lot of herbs that people would normally take to treat a lot of their health problems to scare them away from using them. Frankly, that's just bad information, and it's not really caring about the individual because they're not really being honest about all of the facts. It's very one-sided, and they'll tell you about all the negative things, and you know, a lot of people will write in and say that supplemental caused that and supplemental caused this, but the truth of the matter is that there's many factors and variables to taking place that unless they were being monitored in a big study, there's no way to absolutely know if supplemental was causing them problems or not. Because usually when people are taking supplemental, they're also taking other herbs. They could be changing their diet. There could be some hormonal problem wrong with them. And a lot of people like to put the blame on one particular thing, when in fact it could be something totally different. And also people don't normally go to their doctors, and they don't normally get the tests done to figure out, why they're having sexual dysfunction. So I think it's not necessarily being completely honest with others when they say that taking saw palmetto caused me this, caused me that, destroyed my libido, because like I say, there's just as many people that say that have taken saw palmetto that it's helped their prostate, that it's helped their sexual function, that it's helped their hair loss without all the negative side effects. But of course, people want to make it appear that when people take this herb, all that they experience is the negative side effects. And I'm just here to say that that is certainly not true. Again, there's many doctors, naturopath, physicians, and others that, recommend saw palmetto to treat these various conditions. And it absolutely will help support healthy testosterone levels, and it can actually help a man protect his sexual function, and his long-term well-being. And it has been shown in studies to help your prostate. Now, if something helps your prostate, how could it possibly be bad for, your libido? That certainly doesn't make sense. So the very fact that it does help decrease an enlarged prostate is great when it comes to sexual, health and reproductive health at that. So, look at the facts, look at the studies, look at the other videos that I've made on saw palmetto, and come to your own conclusion. If you feel that saw palmetto is dangerous and that it actually is giving you these problems that you're experiencing, then stop taking it and see if those problems get better. If they don't, chances are it really wasn't saw palmetto, but it was something else that you were taking. It was something else that you were doing. Normally, if something's causing the problem and you stop, it should necessarily clear up. It should resolve on its own over time. And if that isn't happening to you, then there's normally a good chance that it wasn't that herb. So the other thing would be to get your hormone levels checked. Check your testosterone levels before taking saw palmetto, and check your testosterone levels after taking saw palmetto. See, people haven't actually put up any of these results on websites or have made a video about that. And even if someone did do that and say their testosterone levels dropped after taking saw palmetto, that doesn't necessarily follow then that everybody that does take saw palmetto, that their testosterone will drop as well, because everybody is different. So just be careful. You can use discernment and make your own informed decision, when it comes to whatever herb you decide to use. I'm just here saying in this video that according to the studies, the evidence, and everything that I've looked at and experienced, a lot of the stuff that, a lot of the concerns, I should say, that people are having with this herb is actually not backed up by the science. or from the studies or from the information that I've seen. And given the fact that Mercola, Dr. Groot from Global Healing Center, Natural News, and most of these well-known health advocates all recommend the use of saw palmetto for enlarged prostates, for hair loss. And clearly these people, I don't believe are trying to recommend something for people that is going to hurt them. And these, folks are also very much against drugs. So I'm always suspicious when people are trying to knock down herbs because, if you knock down the herbs and the drugs are bad, what else is there to do? What else is there to take? And I think that giving people the option of taking an herb that has a good track record of safety is much more beneficial than just completely saying, nope, this is terrible for you, don't take this because I experienced something bad. A lot of these folks quite possibly could be trolls. They could be trolls and they could be making these websites to discredit the benefits of using natural safe herbs, just to discredit other people, because some people get a lot of views and they get popular on YouTube, they get successful, and there's trolls and they want to ruin the reputation. They want to discredit things that they might be saying because they're too lazy and they're too shy to get on camera themselves and speak the truth. So with that, hope this has cleared up any of the concerns that any of you are having with saw palmetto. And if you still are having concerns, please go to the 2 links that I will provide, or just do, a simple Google search and you'll find that saw palmetto is actually not as bad as everybody says that it is. So with that, take care and have a great day.